Hey YouTube, this is Brett with Bco, and today I'm going to talk to you about why I recommend switching over to this wax-based system instead of continuing to use your traditional bike chain. Reason number one of why I recommend this over this is because it smells great, like sweet candy. This stuff, on the other hand, not so much. Now, I will say that Demontech does make a coffee-scented lube, but that's the only lube I'm aware of that has a pleasant scent to it. If coffee is your thing, which it is not my thing. Reason number two why I recommend the wax-based system over the lube is because, as you can see from this wax right here, it's blue. So they have a variety of different colors, and if you want to be boring and keep that traditional silver, or if you have one of those KMC gold chains, or maybe one of the diamond chains or whatever, they do have white, and no, it won't make your chain white. It just goes on clear once you're done applying it, kind of like a car wax would. But if you want to see some really crazy things that they've done, here you go, here's some images. So these are not mine, these are taken straight from Google Images. I'm gonna imagine they were done by Wend Wax. I honestly have no clue, so whoever the author is, good job on the pictures. So the third reason of why I recommend the Wend Wax over this stuff is because it helps keep your chain cleaner. And if you're not familiar with the different types of lubes, there's a dry lube and a wet lube and kind of an in-between, I guess. So your dry lube is if you're in a drier climate, or maybe you're mountain biking or cyclocross and there's lots of dirt and debris. You don't want to collect very much of that on your chain, so you're going to use a drier lube because it's going to keep your chain drier. Now with this stuff, there's no wet or dry, it's just wax. I don't have a mountain bike or a cyclocross bike, and I don't ride my road bike in the dirt that often, so I can't really for sure say that this stuff works better than this stuff. But what I did is I took an old chain that I had, cleaned a part of it off really well, and then applied wax to a portion of that, applied the lube to a portion of that, and let the lube penetrate the links for about 10 minutes, and then dried off the chain, and then sprinkled some dirt across it to see where it would stick, if it would stick more on the lube side or stick more on the wax side, because maybe the wax kind of keeps it all clumped up. This is what happened when I did that.
You can see the wax on the chain, and you can see the dirt did hit the wax, but it doesn't seem to attract it all that much. So now if we go take a look at the other side, the lube based side, you can see, sorry, let me focus a little bit more. The dirt seemed to be attracted a lot more with this lube based side, and you can see that it's dirtier than this wax based side.
It seems like the wax does a better job. Now, that's an in-home experiment. If you happen to be watching this and you do use this stuff and you mountain bike or cyclocross, please comment down below what your experience is on how much debris this collects versus your experience with this stuff. So the fourth and final and best of all reasons why you should switch over to this wax-based system is because of this guy right here. Does that look familiar? That embarrassing mark? Well, with this stuff, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And if you don't believe me, here's a clip of me getting up close and personal with my bike. All right, so I'm gonna do something that you don't normally want to do, but just to show you kind of how clean this is. Clean hand, grabbing the chain ring, there you go. You'll notice there's no black gunk, nothing like that. My hand is pretty clean. You can do all you want. You'll see nothing. Do want to throw out a disclaimer that chain was recently cleaned with the wax off, and then a fresh coat of wax was recently applied. But with that said, had I done that with this system, I still would have gotten marked up pretty bad. Like my hand would have been dirty. You still would have seen chain marks on my legs. It doesn't matter, that stuff still appears when you have this stuff, and it only gets worse as time goes by. Now my wife's chain had not recently been cleaned, so I brushed up against that with my leg and my hand just to make sure that those results were fairly accurate, and they were. My hand was not really marked up, and my leg wasn't really marked up either. So in my time of using this stuff, I've never noticed any sort of marks on my legs at all. Now, if you clean your drivetrain at all, you'll know how messy it gets with your typical chain lube. Your rags get filthy black with all of the oil and debris buildup, and your pulley wheels, if you've ever gotten any of that gunk on your fingers, like it doesn't come off. It's just not clean at all. Your cassette looks dirty. So I just thought I would make a few clips showing you kind of cleaning the drivetrain with a wax-based system and how clean it is to work with. So here's 2 clips for you now.
This is what my cassette looks like after it's been used with the wax system. You can see that it blends into the cassette and it doesn't look very dirty. Now, had I used a lot of the wax to color my chain a lot more, that would have shown up on this cassette and my cassette would have been colored. But just so you can compare to what it looks like clean, here you go. There's a picture of what it looks like clean. And on the left, I'm just, cleaning it off so you can see my process. But over on the right, you can see it's pretty negligible, the difference between clean and dirty. I'm just trying to scrape in between the teeth on the left just to show you that it's not dirt or anything. That's just how the cassette is. All right, so now I want to show you how clean this stuff is when it comes off. Pulley wheels collect gunk, doesn't matter what you have, wax-based lube, or normal lube. It's gonna get gunked up with stuff. But the difference is with this, you can see I'm kind of caking it. But this is nothing compared to had this been gunk from just normal lube. And when I go to clean this off, it cleans off really easy. And you can see it doesn't really spread that much after that initial little bit. So I don't know what I was thinking, trying to clean it with water. They make stuff for cleaning the wax. This is part of the kit, or you can just buy this, the bottle itself. Also going to use the rag that came with it, even though this part doesn't really matter. You can use whatever rag. Just put a little bit on there.
So as you can see, cleaning your drivetrain is also a lot cleaner with this wax-based system than your traditional lube-based system. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is just go up to your bike, go up to that pulley wheel, take a little bit of the gunk off, rub it between your fingers, and see how annoying it is to get off. Like you have to scrub it or use some Gojo or something. Like that stuff marks you up pretty bad. This stuff, simple soap and water. So those are all the reasons of why I recommend this system over this system. Now, I will talk about the only con of this system, and that is the cost. This stuff for the kit, so the wax off, and this microfiber towel cost $30. This stuff, on the other hand, this is a higher end lubricant, and this cost me $12. And I know that you can get lubrications for about $15 maybe at the max. And this on the lower end was about $4. So this system is a lot cheaper because if you were to buy just the wax by itself, it's about $20. And if you buy the wax off by itself, it's about $12. Now, to give you an idea of use of this stuff though, that's about how much I've used, and I've applied this stuff to my wife's chain and my chain about 7 times now. And there's still a decent amount left. You know, this degreaser, it's $12. It may run you a little bit, it may not last quite as long as degreasers that you use over here with this system, but with this system you have to use degreasers, and it's a lot messier, and you're using, you know, extra brushes or whatever other tools. You know, this stuff, it's pretty easy. You just put the wax off on the rag, and that's your tool for cleaning everything, except the cassette. The cassette, you know, you can't just clean with the rag. You would want a brush for that, and that brush costs you $4. You know, with this costing maybe a little bit more, especially up front, I think that it's well worth it because I can change the color of my chain. It's a lot cleaner to work with, and I service my drivetrain, so that's a huge bonus for me. And also, like I said, I haven't experienced any of those shark bites on my leg at all since buying this stuff and switching over, and that's been amazing because I used to get those all the time. I don't know how. It's one of those mysteries of life, right?
I want to also talk about the customer service for Wend since I did interact with them. Well, their customer service is awesome as well. I got a wax and it wouldn't twist at all, even if I took the bottom off and tried to twist it with pliers, wouldn't budge. I contacted Wend, told them the issue, and within a day they had responded and resolved the problem, and sent me a new wax. So it was terrific. Awesome customer service, awesome product. And speaking of product, if you want to pick some of this up, feel free to use my Amazon affiliate link down below. Also, Wend sells it directly, so you can go to their website. But before you do either of those, I highly recommend you hit up your local bike shop first to see if it's in stock. And if they don't have it and they can't get it in time for your needs, or they can't get it at all, then by all means, use one of the links down below. So with that, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if that was useful, appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button down below. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more of these as I make them. I promise they'll get better over time. And with that, thanks for watching.
Bonus content. If you saw this stuff and noticed that I had never pointed it out during the video, that's because I use this stuff to lubricate my caliper brakes, because I still have those. And I also use it to lubricate my derailleurs, because those have springs in it and I can access the springs even though they're electronic. So that's why I have this stuff and I still use it. And this stuff is super liquidy and penetrates all those little pivot points really well. So, if you want a lube, I recommend this, but it is a lot more expensive, but you can see the bottle's a lot bigger than these lubes. So that's it. Thanks for watching.